Hey guys, and welcome back to Destiny. What the hell happened when I was gone? Jesus. We took a little break. If those guys who only watch the Destiny content, we took a little bit break. We played some games that were a little bit more rewarding. They're like the classic games that came out a while ago. That are all about like completing something, and then when it's completed, it's kind of done. Whereas every other game on my channel, I already went into this, but every other game on my channel, like Let It Die or Destiny, it always seemed like there's no like payout, you know, there was no like this huge accomplishment. It was always just like, cool, that's one more notch on the huge road ahead of infinity. It was like, oh my god, I just want to be patted on the head and actually feel like I accomplished something. So I played some games, and now we're back. I feel invigorated. I feel like I want to actually play a shooter. We've been playing games that are everything but shooters recently. Killer is Dead and Slime Rancher are everything but those two things. Anyways, what happened? What happened when I was gone? That's kind of what this video is going to be about. I haven't really got into like the gameplay aspect of it, so I'm not comfortable about making like a gun review or anything like that yet, or something like that in Destiny, so we're not going to get into those videos just yet. We're just going to start off with talking about the state of Destiny. And honestly, the state of Destiny for a lot of people, I think. A lot of people. Now, with that being said, I'm still not one of those people that believe Destiny 1 is better than Destiny 2. I'm still not one of those people that believe Destiny 2 is over. As everyone is right now, I think everyone just kind of whelmed. Everyone was extremely whelmed by Destiny 2. At least its endgame portion. Its initial punch was so much better than Destiny 1. But it's everything that Destiny 1 had after the fact that made it so great. It's extreme content drop-off in terms of like how much there was in Destiny 1. And in Destiny 2, there was just nothing there. Now, whether that was because Bungie didn't have enough time to develop the game, or if it was because they were trying to accommodate a lesser invested player, I suppose. I don't know, but that's what we're going to be talking about in this video. Oh, one more thing. My camera, my webcam. I got a new webcam. Hopefully it's better quality. Hopefully I'm not like super pixelated and I'm a little more sharp around the edge of my face and whatnot. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. I'll be real honest. Today, I tried to change it. I was wearing a red shirt. And I just made a bunch of Let It Die videos, but then I was like, hey, I don't want it to look like I filmed all these in one day. Basically, I'm the same as Red Shirt Man. Like, it happened a minute ago, so I still have the cold. I still am super stuffed up. I feel like there's like a cognitive dissonance between my brain and my mouth. Like, I feel like I'm slurring a little bit too much, and I'm just like, I have to make a Destiny video today. I want to make a Destiny video talking about the state of the game. And I have to stream today. So I'm just like, yeah. Oh god. Okay, so the state of Destiny. Let's chat, guys. The reason why I wanted to make this video at all was because I seen a title that essentially was, I think it's Otaku or something like that. They basically said that they have information that Bungie is already working on Destiny 3. Now, when it comes to game development, that kind of makes sense that they're like, hey, if a game sells well, and it does well, and it already has the idea that it's going to be a series, it's not insane to think that they're going to make another one. But it was like the worst thing to come out for Destiny. To me, I think everyone was collectively like, no, shut up. It's almost like someone being like, all right, you already bought that garbage? Well, maybe this one won't be. And it's like, well, no. And I'm not saying Destiny is garbage. I'm just saying that Destiny for, I think a lot of people was hugely disappointing in the sense that there was no end game. Yeah, it just kind of feels like, what happened? What happened to Destiny and having like this wellspring of content? And it sucks because some people, including myself, kind of look like a liar. Because when Destiny first came out, everyone was like, oh my god, this is amazing. And it was. The initial introduction to the world of Destiny, Destiny 2 is significantly better than Destiny 1. But that's not Destiny, you know? Tons of players that played the shit out of Destiny 1 were there because of what happened after the fact. It was kind of like a rite of passage of you having to put up with the annoying and stupid story. With that being said, I didn't hate the story of Destiny 1. I know a lot of people hated it. I thought it was just like, yeah, whatever. Kind of seems like an RPG story that's a second thought. Anyways, but I loved everything after the fact. And in Destiny 2, even going into Destiny 2, my biggest concerns were the fact that you cannot reroll a weapon anymore. There's no random stats. And the fact that it looked like they were accumulating it for a smaller, less hardcore audience. Now, with that being said, I'm not of the nature of thinking that everything should take you 10 years to attain. But I do think there should be some things that are left to chance and left to perfection, or to perfect. Such as your build. Like, to me, the thing that would turn a switch in Destiny 2, that I think would do it for a lot of people, is if you would allow us to have random rolls on weapons. Like, why not have a... I don't need... What is it? Right here? Increases the speed and target acquisition while moving and aiming down sights. Neat, but not what I want. I'd rather have Rampage on this thing. So why not give me the ability to hunt for Rampage? Why not give me... I'm fine with this being a thing, or this is always going to be the case for this frame, this weapon frame. It is always going to have this rapid fire, whatever the hell. I'm fine with that, and I don't even think adding rerolling or random mods to guns would take away from what do you call it? This right here, the mods, which aren't even a thing in this game. Like, they're not even used, and I know they're going to make updates, and we'll talk about that in a minute. That they're going to add that to the game. That will not fix, I'm almost certain that will not fix what I want back from Destiny, which is being able to find a gun that means something to you, being able to find this special thing that is completely driven by luck and whatever, but it's what you're there for. You're there to find that legendary weapon that makes you a legend, you know? The thing I thought would be really cool about Destiny 2, in the way they made it sound, is you could customize your playstyle based on, what do you call it, like your mods. So I always thought this would basically turn into, like, it could affect range, stability, handling, and then perks were going to have more of an impact on, like, basically bonuses. Because one of the things they constantly push in the promotional trailers for Destiny, the weapon mods and the stuff in the backworks allows you to attune it to your playstyle. None of them do that, besides, hey, you want more stability? More range? Do you want more bullets in the magazine? It's not like, hey, after getting a headshot kill, it increases your reload speed. That's an actual, like, playstyle ability thing. A person that's precise and you need bullets, those things go in tangent. If there was a thing that was, if you're able to get 5 multi-kills in a row, you get health regen, or that's kind of stupid. You move immensely faster, like burst rush, it could be called. Anything like that. Those are gameplay implementations for things that allow you to hyper whatever your playstyle is. If you like to run and gun, that's perfect for that. Maybe not 5 kills, but you get my meaning. And stuff like that. Maybe like crouching for a minute or a few seconds. It increases your reload for 30 seconds. In that base, it could be called something like a front runner, or I don't know. Basically what I'm getting at is, you know, when you do this like a mile sprint or something like that, it's like that's not a thing, but like the 100-yard sprint or whatever it is, you actually like get down sprinting position and then you burst off. I think that makes sense because of the perk name and what it's doing. Anyways, stuff like that to me is what I was expecting in Destiny, but I didn't get any of it. I got annoying nothing perks like this, where it's like, hey, increases target acquisition, and it gives you a slight movement increase when aiming down sights. Neat, but nothing that it changes my playstyle, you know? Yeah. And I have no, like, this is the only playstyle trait that you can have, because maybe I do like to aim down sights and move, and it's a passive thing that's always going to be there, and it's not something I can choose to toggle on and off. There is zero choice here. There is zero choice for customization here. And even with the mods, +5 attack doesn't do much of anything. Like, if in the coming months they say that they're going to add an update, make the mod system better, which to me, instead of attack, maybe it's stability, or maybe it's handling. And I don't know what 5 ends up being in this, like, bar range, if this is out of 50 or out of 10. I don't know. But I hardly think it's going to impact me enough to want to, like, grind for that specific thing. In Destiny 2, there was a huge pull for grinding a certain weapon. And I know why they patched the weapons. You know, I understand what people are going to say. They're going to be like, hey, the reason why Destiny patched, or they made it so that every weapon is the same, is for Crucible. Crucible made up like 10% of the player base. You axe a whole, your core base audience plays the game for its PvE, but you axe it for like the 110% there. And also, I honestly think people enjoyed that in Crucible. It was something to get. It was something to go for. Yes, it was unfair at times, but at the same time, that's why I think Crucible should have been balanced differently. Like, that was something that people said all the time, is that PvE and Crucible should be balanced separately. because they're entirely different mediums. And in Destiny 2, shotguns above like 3 are completely useless. And that's entirely because people hate shotguns in Crucible because it's the most unrewarding thing to get killed by. Because you feel like you had no choice, and you feel like you couldn't have done much because dude was behind a corner and you made a choice to go around that corner. Yes, you got punched for it, but apparently it feels bad. It feels bad when you get shot by a shotgun. I'll agree. Anyways, let's go over the coming updates that they're going to make. So first of all, to wrap up that train of thought, I really dislike the whole idea of them even thinking about Destiny 3 right now, even though because I don't want, like, to me, it makes me not want to buy a Destiny 3, because it feels like I was fucked with, you know what I mean? It feels like I was lied to. And that's something that game designers are doing more and more now, and I realize there's something in business and whatnot to say that, you know, I don't know. To me, I appreciate when, like, I realize you're running a business, but I also realize you at least respect your consumer to a certain extent. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, whereas I feel like Bungie was that beast. But recently, and I don't know, because to me, it's such a not Bungie move that it very much feels like they had no time to make Destiny 2. Or maybe they were incentivized to, like... No, a lot of the decisions can be seen as, like, making the game for, like, the less hardcore people, or whatever you want to call them. That's a shitty name to give those people, but still. Or it could look like they literally didn't have enough time to make shit tons of endgame content and whatnot. So I don't know. Because to me, like... I never got to this point. I never got to this point in Destiny where I literally was like, there's no fucking point. There's no fucking point to anything. And that's coming from a person that I thought the story was pretty good. I didn't think it was like the best. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was a fun story, a fun time, fun experience. But I didn't think it was something that was like wild. Maybe in the moment I did actually. I might have been like, this is actually really good because I was just so happy to get Destiny again. Let's at least shoot some things. Hey. I've never been here. Anyways, back to the train of thought. Bungie said they were going to add a bunch of new things to Destiny in the coming months. Some are way down the line. Like, one of the things that's super far down the line is mods, which should be the thing that is like the forefront. But no, that's apparently real far away, and yeah, I don't know, because to me that's the whole fallback of Destiny. That's always what I found some sort of gameplay in, is again hunting. The hunting of loot. It's funny because Bungie's done that. They're like, hey, our community loves loot. And even in the promotional trailer, Kate is like, we love loot. But it's like, yeah, you get loot, but you take away everything that's fundamentally cool about loot, which is its random nature and the fact that you could get something that no one else has, or that a select few has. And yeah, and I say that being on the receiving end of that shitty shtick of like having a horrible RNG. Like, I had to farm for everything like 3 times harder than a lot of the other people I've seen in my environment that got said thing. Whatever that resource might have been, it took forever for me to get it. And I'm not trying to cry wolf or whatever. In fact, I'm doing the opposite. Some things I got easily, some things I didn't. And that's the point. It's the point of like having something to do and having something to follow and do. It's funny because the problem I have in Destiny 2 is the exact opposite problem I have in Let It Die. In Destiny 2, I'm like, I just want something to do that makes me feel like I'm progressing, and then in Let It Die, it just feels like I kind of mentioned, it feels like you're so far away from any progression. But there is still some sort of progression to be made, but because it's a free-to-play game, it's super fucking long. And yeah. Anyways, so yes, they were saying that they were going to add mods and like redefine that and make it better. Cool, love that. All sounds good. They also were talking about how apparently not a lot of people liked Curse of Osiris. I liked it. I thought it was fine. I thought it came on the back end of a bunch of criticism, so there was no real way for it to do well. Because Curse of Osiris, it was right around the time when Bungie wasn't being honest about XP throttling because people were getting Tess Everest's stuff too much. Also, I will say that's the only like huge negative, and it's a pretty big negative, is in Curse of Osiris, what's it called, Tess Everest? Microtransactions? She had like 90% of the content of that DLC, and you already paid $30 or whatever it is for that content. Only to be it sold back to you as a microtransaction. That's bullshit. That's annoying for sure. On the topic of PvP, that's fun. That's actually getting some improvements. Not soon, but eventually. And it makes me wonder, like, when is when is this gonna be a thing? You know, like when do you think is it too late? Is what I'm saying, and I don't think it is. But I also think, man, I think it's in everyone's best interest to kind of put down Destiny just so you don't hate it, and then come back when they finally quote unquote fixed it. I don't know. Anyways, for PvP, you're getting competitive and you're getting points to level up and whatnot. You're getting 1 point system that shows how many matches you've played of Crucible, and then one that shows how many times you've won and lost in Crucible. If you lose, you go down in numbers. If you go up, you go higher in numbers. Cool. Now, I think that's fine, but not before Crucible gets rebalanced, because Crucible, again, like the whole system, it's like the reverse problem of Destiny 1, where with them taking away weapon mods and them being random, they made Crucible more balanced, but in doing so, you made it not at all balanced, because there is still, without a doubt, like 4 best weapons in the game, undoubtedly. You know what I mean? Whereas beforehand, you could take a weapon that was okay, but if it had that perfect mod on it, it could be great. It could compete with these other things that were just passively really good as well. Like without question, Better Devils is the best hand cannon in the game. Almost nothing can dethrone this hand cannon unless they upload it or update it in a DLC, whatever. And this makes Crucible extremely boring. It makes it so that all you need is this hand cannon, and that if you like hand cannons and you're good with them, then that's it. That's all you need. There's nothing for you to do besides shoot random guardians and use your super every now and then, and etc. Whereas beforehand, there was like, there was the potential to get that random gun that could be good, and then that could pull you away from your comfort zone, because you maybe see that, oh man, I got this really cool roll on a pulse rifle, but I hate pulse rifles, but maybe this is good enough to where I could win me over. Boom, boom, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, it doesn't matter, but it's something to change it up. It kept it fresh, it kept it different. And to me, like, I always thought things, like the negative things, the reason why they took away rerolling is stuff like the Hopscotch Pilgrim and other things in Destiny 1 that happened that essentially is this one gun having the perfect roll on it would be almost unfair, which I get, which in that case, I think, again, if Bungie patched the Crucible separately, and PvE separately, then they could just rebalance things that were too crazy. I think that's fair, but right now you have this like system where it's just boring. And when you get to the end of the road, you look around and all you see is people that are identical to you. That seems like that's in itself exceptionally boring. Where's the variation? Where's the difference? Where's the style? No, all that's gone in Crucible, and yeah. So also it leads to the best of the best weapons hurting you so much more, and also PvP is in this weird state where team shot is all you need. You don't need a gun that is good. You just need a person to be like, he's coming in hallway, wait for him to push, team shot him, kill him in half a second, done. It's not about like someone having a weapon that it has a super slow fire rate, but if they're able to push and become really accurate, like what's that sniper, the No Land Beyond? That thing was notorious for being like this executioner in the right hands, but we don't really have that in Destiny 2. And yeah, so as of the whole Crucible update, I'm happy that we're getting competitive. I think it's gonna be fun to dabble in. I think, but I think Crucible right now is in a state of, it needs to be fixed rather than put a point system on it. And I don't know. I realize it's something for us to do, but at the same time, I'm like, man, yeah, there's so many times in Crucible where I'm like, and I couldn't have avoided that because I got Better Devils once in the knee. And then I got shot with anything else and I was killed immediately. And I'm like, there's that team shot. There's that relentless team shot. And again, like, I am just shitting on the game a little bit right now, but like, I do love the game. I do think it's a fun game. It was worth my $60 or whatnot. Actually, like, I want to say that, but at the same time, I am kind of like, well, like, you're not wrong, worth the $60 and all that stuff, but in the same sense, I do hate that Tess Everest has so much shit, you know what I mean? It almost makes me feel like, maybe it wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth the $60 when Tess has so much shit that she's trying to sell you as well. And yeah. And also, their whole excuse for having Tess Everest was to fund, what do you call it, the extra content for the game. But from what we've seen, that's not really the case. Every update that we've gotten has been nothing less than the same, the exact same, more or less, than what we got in Destiny 1. And if that's where all the money goes to there, and that's also not how business works either. You don't like, hey, this money is only for the funding of new content. No, that's not how anything works. Hey, we want to make money, so here's this content. Hopefully it makes us money, and it's making us money. We're not going to say that it's only going to go into this specific location. That's fucking ridiculous. Are you crazy? That's not how that works. And I, just like many others, were like hopeful that since it was Bungie that it was true. Well, you know. As of Crucible, Cyrus kind of touched upon it, but I thought that was a fine update, excluding Tess Everest. Also, that's something that they said that they were adding. I'm not sure if they've added it or if they're adding it. But they were saying that Tess Everest, to kind of like hush community uproar, they're now giving us, I think a lot of Tess Everest's stuff is now in drop rates. So like you can play Strikes and get stuff, you can play Crucible and get stuff. I did think it was something like Crucible ships, Ghosts, and I think that's it. Like weapon skins, and there was still a couple other things that just weren't available, and I'm like, okay, alright, yeah, because there always should be a way to attain the gear, right? Especially when you're, like, if your game's a free-to-play game, then yes, I would kind of be like, I kind of get it. I kind of get, like, you have to make your money, so your only way to get these items is through this store. I get it. But when you're paying $60 for your game, and you're paying for a DLC, and then you have to go through tests in order to get these weapons, and yes, you can make them just by passively playing and getting experience that way, but it's like way too much. Like, that shouldn't be the case when all of those other things are in the equation. DLC and what do you call it? The base game being $60. Yeah. I don't know. To me, it's the whole thing where actions speak louder than words situation. And I don't know, I'm hoping this is really cool. This is beautiful. I like this a lot. But yeah, I will still be making videos on Destiny, for those guys who are wondering. Even though I'm not shit talking, I'm just telling you guys what I think about the current climate. Again, I think it's not fun. I realize why it's happening, but I don't think it's fun to hear about Destiny 3 right now when Destiny 1 is in a shitty state. I hate the fact that microtransactions are playing a stupid part in like the end game and everything like that. I never really thought about it this way, but when it comes combined with you paying $60 for a game, you paying another $60 for a season pass or however much it is, and then on top of that, for them to be treating Destiny 2 like it's a free-to-play game, having like a tiny margin for you to get this exclusive stuff that Tess has. It seems wild. It seems extremely wild. And for them to have the balls to make it RNG based instead of you buying a gun skin that you want with dust or with the currency like platinum or silver or whatever the currency is in this game. Seems weird. Seems weird, and yeah. I kind of feel bad a little bit for, well, I only feel bad for Bungie if they didn't have enough time to work on the game, and if, I don't know. Because I love this game, you know, I love this game. I see a lot of people just being like, it's trash, and I'm like, I still love Destiny. I still remember the amazing moments I had in Destiny 1 and why I was so excited for Destiny 2. And I think everyone isn't like, we hate Bungie or we hate Destiny. It's more of like I just feel exhausted. You know, I just feel kind of fed up. That's a good word, fed up. Because it feels like you've already been here. You've already done all these things. It's the same annoying cycle completing itself again. And again, I'm saying that happy that they're going back to things like a lot of the things that they had in Destiny 1 are now coming to Destiny 2. And people are like, well then why didn't you just add them? And I think it's probably because they didn't have enough time to develop the game. I think honestly they had like a year and a half to make this game. I just wanted Destiny 2 to not have this shit. I honestly, and honestly, Destiny 2 wouldn't have had this shit if there was at least something for me to do, something for me to push forward for. If there was weapon re-rolling, I'd be happy. I'd have something to do. I'd have like a reason to like perfect my character. And yes, Crucible would be odd and imbalanced, but not imbalanced. It's not imbalanced. Again, if you separated them, you could balance Crucible easily without having to affect PvE. I'm not sure if you could do it easily, probably not easily, but still. My point being is that, I don't know, I just feel like this has all happened again and no one wants it to happen again. We already went through all this in Destiny 1, where we were like, It could be great though. And now it's like, Destiny 2, it is gonna be great. No, it's still a lot of problems. Still, we're right back to the Stone Age. Anyways, moving on. On a side note, like I just tried to say, and I've got taken away. There is still going to be Destiny videos. I say what you want about the game. I still think it's a fun game to watch, and see be played, and see, and also it gives itself structure when it comes to weapons and whatnot, making it so that I feel like I have something to actually cover when it comes to making a video. Yes, there's nothing to do, but there is still videos that can be made. Anyways, guys, so yes, there will be Destiny content returning to the channel. I just wanted to make this video kind of airing out my thoughts on everything. God. Here's hoping that in the next coming months there can be stuff that's changed, and yeah. Are you guys still in love with Destiny? I know a lot of you guys have kind of reverted back to like playing just only the raid, and then that's it, just for the sake of not getting burnt out on the game, which I totally get. Anywho, guys, that brings us to the end of the video. Subscribe button above me, 2 videos to my right. I appreciate you guys always for your time, and goodbye.